About to make this like my own. Oh shit, it's recording. Whoops. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? This is PJ, a PJ Talks episode number 6, I think. Right? Anyway, it's neither number 6 or number 7. Pretty sure it's number 6. But anyway, let's get to it. So, to touch real quick on the last episode, I know I mentioned that my complicated relationship with my friend. Anyway, I know in the beginning or towards the middle of that video I said that I'm the type of person that don't care about your feelings, but then I kind of contradict myself because it's like, talk to me, tell me what's up. And I know I said that I like to be told what to do, and then later on during the video I actually said what I meant to say. In the beginning I didn't have time to edit, or I didn't edit it the proper way, and I put it up on YouTube, so it's gonna stay like that. But that being said, touching up on that kind of point, I am not a person that likes to be told what to do. I don't believe that's the way you communicate with people, especially as a grown-ass man. One man to another, you don't tell a grown-ass man what to think or what to do. You know what I'm saying? You share your beliefs, you share your ideas. At the end of the day, if somebody doesn't believe or follow what you follow at the end of your discussion, then, more power to it. At least you talked about it. You guys know where you stand, and you got respect for each other. Like I said, most of the problem starts to come up when, I don't want to touch on the last episode again, but, just kind of continuing on. Nothing good comes out of it, right? When you expect somebody, or you expect people to do what you say because you believe it's right, and damn it be all what they think. As long as you know you're right, or you feel you're right, they need to follow you, and that's it. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I come from a time where we were laughing at people who thought like that, right? Because at the end of the day, back in our ancestors' times, they had it rough because people thought that they were wrong, and they needed to think like the people who were mostly in charge. And anyway, so moving on from that, I just wanted to touch up on that, because like I said, I tried to edit it, or I didn't have the proper editing tools, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is a microphone I purchased. I know I said also try to help out the small businesses and stop using Amazon. I got a confession to make. I've used Amazon recently. I know I'm just trying to get some stuff for my guitar, which I'm also slacking and trying to learn. But kind of to decorate this background. I still haven't picked the wall. I keep switching walls, but I wanted to put the main man right there behind me. You guys see it. You guys know who it is. The best superhero, even though he's not super. It's the best hero out there. Try me or prove me wrong. Anyway, so that being said, I just want to say, oh shit, Kobe. I just want to say, for those of you who watch and you comment and you give me constructive criticism when you see me in person, I just want to let you guys know I appreciate it. If you can just share my videos, let other people see. Like I said, I'm just a guy from Newark. I'm a kid, well, not even a kid. I'm a man, but I was a kid growing up in Newark. who that got then moved out of Newark. My mom didn't want me to go to certain schools because of the reputation. And so that just brings me to my first topic of this video, right? Well, second, but anyway, you guys get it. I feel like I do that shit a lot. I gotta stop doing it. Anyway, my next thing on this episode, I just want to clarify. I am not no thug. I am not no gangster. I'm not no internet gangster. I just like to have conversations. I just feel that too many times people who are from where I'm from, right? And even growing up Spanish, Puerto Rican household, which by the way, I need to get into a rant about AOC. But anyways, before I get into that, I feel that people who grow up like I do, we don't really pay attention to politics because at the end of the day, we feel that, you know, it doesn't work in our favor. It has nothing to do with us. Most of the time, it kind of just hinders us, and we just keep it moving, right? That's our attitude, at least what I remember growing up in my community. It doesn't matter, Spanish, black, people in my community were all colors, all kinds of race. So at the end of the day, we didn't feel that nothing benefited us, you know what I'm saying? Unless it was welfare or Medicaid or Medicare for like your grandparents and stuff. So I think that is where the problem is in communities like the one I grew up in, that the fact that they put all that stuff attached to other incentives, which is bad incentives, saying, well, just follow these rules and you can have your Medicaid. The rules are set so that you don't progress to get out or to do better. They keep you plateaued. I mean, not even up here. They keep you low. And that is a problem. I think that if people, like, I know, I'm pretty sure some, not most, but some know that they just give the bare minimum, or yeah, they do the bare minimum and they'll just get that check at the end of the day because it's reliable. It's, you know, you're gonna get it. And culture does not help. Whatever's popular in culture, you got the car, you got the rims. Like most of the time when you go to places where I grew up, people had nicer cars than the places they lived in. And they had kids. But they were dressed nice, fancy ass car. The place is not kept up because the landlords don't give a shit, because governments are supposed to send people, you know, it's like some kind of systems in place where they're supposed to send people, make sure it's up to living standards, blah blah blah. I don't know how it is now, but from the looks of it, still there's not a lot of care in that kind of department, you know what I'm saying? So it still seems that it's the same problem. It's just that it's a different generation dealing with it right now, you know what I'm saying? And that is the problem, because the problem I have with culture right now is that they're just promoting anything and everything. And it's, you know, to each his own. You know, at the end of the day, I feel that it's up to the parents to basically help with the fact of teaching their kids accountability, teaching their kids right from wrong. But what happens when you have a generation that had babies when they were babies and didn't have like the time to like really mature themselves to be able to take care of another human being, and the whole process it takes to develop their mentality, you know, to this mature and self thinking, like think for yourself kind of person that can take care of the decisions they choose to make, or or like, basically, man, you decide to do something, just know that it's you who decided to do it. Nobody made you. And if you're ever put in a position where you feel that somebody made you, or that you feel like somebody's trying to make you do something, speak up. You know, it's like that. Like, that's the parents' job. And too often, we see that is kind of being left to the state to do for these parents that are not capable, but yet they're capable enough to claim that child and get the check for that child to be able to spend it on themselves, which we've seen time and time again. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that it's not known. So, you know, I just feel that I just need to put that out there, right? Another thing, like, when I talk about a certain lifestyle, it's because I've either seen it growing up. I know people in it. I have family in it. Like, I still go to Newark to this day. I got family down in Newark. Most of them I don't speak to anymore because life. They got their kids. They're working. I'm working. I got my kids. I got my situations. I got my downs. They got their downs. I got my ups. They got their ups. We see each other when we can, or family events, but most of the time I just communicate through text message or social media, because a lot of them switch their numbers a lot. I know I used to do that. But so yeah, I just want to put that out there. There's a whole bunch of levels to this. It's nobody's fault. It's just the fact that, in my belief, I believe that we got to take the power back from the state. The state has too much power, too much say, and we've allowed that to happen way too long, and we've given them way too much. They shouldn't be making decisions like that. Their decisions should be provide public service. Make it easier for people to move around, which is public transportation, public education. That can be also limited as well. And I can make a whole episode on just that alone, because I believe teachers union needs to they've gotten too big. And I'm not gonna break down what I mean by that, but a lot of y'all, if you know how unions work, you know that teachers union is probably way too big, and it's not for the better of the students. No, contradictory to what you might think. Again, so I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here, because I'm trying to take this a lot more serious for you guys. I'm trying to stay in, kind of organized, on track. Man, I don't like when I pause like that. But this is authentic. This is just me. I'm also going to try to link some t-shirts. I use my kids' drawings because try to empower them. I try to tell them that, whenever they draw something, it's unique. It's never been done before. It's them. That's their expression. That's their emotions. And so I use it to put on t-shirts. So I have a batch coming in, and I will be putting them on during the podcast so I can show you guys. And so, like that, you can support me, support my kids, with their art. So, I figure it'd be a nice little thing, because they see these YouTubers, people doing like drawings or playing video games, making up some kind of characters, and then they see it manifest into a toy or to a t-shirt, and they want to buy these people's t-shirts. So I try to tell them, like, you can do the same thing. I can help you You make a drawing, I could help put it on a t-shirt, and we go from there. So that'll be coming soon. So those of you who have kids and you like wearing some quirky kind of drawings, you know where to come. Just it's a way to support them, like emotionally, mentally, teach them like the whole, you give something for something. You know what I'm saying? It's not child labor, so you can call it a donation to inspire them to keep drawing. So let's call it that. So, but what's hot right now is anime. I want to talk about, and I wrote it right here, anime, and Attack on Titan, man. Those of you who watch Attack on Titan, this is the time that we've kind of, we've been waiting for. We knew it was coming, but Attack on Titan, man, I tell you, it's such an amazing story. Like, I could talk about the Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, which it is right now. But I feel like everybody knows Dragon Ball, right? And Dragon Ball has been around for so long, and yet it still has good storytelling, good character development. Like, Vegeta is still developing, and right now my favorite character is Vegeta. Vegeta is the man, bro. Goku, he's the star of the show. He's always been the star of the show. He's always gonna be the one to level or break some kind of barrier and beat the big bad or whatever, or the competition like they did. But Vegeta, to me, I feel he should have had his shot when fighting against Jiren. He should have been the one to unlock the Ultra Instinct, because Vegeta is the hardest on himself when working out to get better. And so it would have been a lot, like, I feel like the moment would have been a lot better, more badass, if it was Vegeta who tried to do his big move, the Gatling gun, and end up that Jiren was just too powerful and took Vegeta out, or like Goku with the Spirit Bomb. And it would have been a lot better if that was, like, to me at least, because like I said, right now Vegeta is the man for me. That dude is badass. His character development, the way his motivation is family. You know what I'm saying? The reason, like, the way he almost took himself out by self-destructing himself, but he lived this time because he's stronger. But his motivation for doing that, he kept saying it was his kids. And, well, you could see it. Bulma, Bula, and Trunks. And the fate of the world, obviously. But that is, he made it clear that is his world. So, to me, it would have been a lot better if it would have been Vegeta after doing that, and then there was no choice but for him to basically level up, because everybody else, Kakarot's down, Kakarot's Goku, he's down, he got nothing else, he's tired, he's beat up. Vegeta needs to step in. He feels that it's the end, and then all of a sudden he taps into this potential that he didn't know the Saiyans could do. That would have been amazing, and then at the end have it be Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza, right? Instead of 17 being hidden on some pile of rubble to help them beat Jiren. Because then at the end of the day, it's Vegeta, who always hated Frieza, is a kind of redemption, or not even a redemption, it's just kind of like a little respect towards Frieza, because obviously without Frieza, they would have died. They would have been ended, right? The whole universes would have been destroyed. The universe out of it would have been destroyed, and Jiren would have won. Goku realizing, like he always sees the good in people, so not realizing much, but just going off with Vegeta. You see, I told you we could count on Frieza. He wants to live too. Give him a chance. So again, it would have been more focused on Vegeta's way of thinking changing for the better good, right? So I mean, that would have been better. But anyways, the reason why I bring up anime is because I saw a chart, and it was like, or a study, or whatever you want to call it, and they brought up the fact that anime, comic book stories from Japan are doing much better and basically killing in the comic book market with American comics. Like, they are dominating over here in America against DC, Marvel, even though Marvel's, anyway. Like, but DC, and that has a lot to say with the way that the DC, well, not so much DC. There are some DC writers that are in now that are woke, and they're pushing some woke agenda. Like, not pushing, they're forcing it. When you try to force something down somebody's way of thinking, like you just trying to force an ideology on them, it's never gonna work. It never works. So in DC, there are some writers that are trying the woke route, which is not gonna work, especially when it's not genuine. Marvel is full of woke writers that are just, I don't want to say too much on it because I'm not a big comic book guy. I know the cartoons, I know their origins, I know some comics, but I don't know the different writers. I don't know the series, series of comics that are for one story, for this story, for that story, like the Batman, the owl story. See, I don't know it that well. Like, I know it, but right now off the top of my head, no good. But the owl storyline is good. The Halloween night is another good one. Like, basically, I don't know it like that. Like, I know the characters. I love Batman. Batman's my favorite. I said that already, but it just goes to show you that when it's genuine writing and good storytelling and a build up, it doesn't matter whether your character is a character of a person of color, or identifies with a different gender, or likes a certain gender or the same gender, whatever it may be, right? It doesn't matter as long as it's in the storyline and it progresses naturally, and it comes out, oh, that character is actually this, or that character is actually that. At the end of the day, if that's the way it goes, as long as it's good storytelling, nobody cares. People will love the story for the stories, not because, oh, that person identifies, or that character is this minority. It doesn't matter to them. Comic book people, nerds, gamers, I consider myself a gamer. I was a gamer kid. I still am. I'm a gamer dad. So for all the gamer dads, there we go. I know I just probably just torched any kind of any kind of validation that you guys will give me, but I am a gamer dad. I play Call of Duty with my son. A lot of people think that's not a good thing because he's only 9 years old. I beg to differ. Boy is pretty good. He even plays on the PC better than I do. Then again, I was never a PC person. But I'll say that to say this. When the politics tries to come into the gaming community, which has happened before, I believe, the Gamergate. We don't like that. And that's the community that will push the hardest. You got The Last of Us 2 that demolished or just butchered the whole first game, the story that the first game built upon, and the way that it progressed. Part 2 just shitted on that story to push some woke agenda in the game, right? Now, I'm not gonna put it on here when I played it, but I feel the same. I'm pretty sure you can look up all the reviews. All the reviews, everybody feels the same way. It's not the fact that there was a certain character there pushing that he felt some type of way to identify. It's the fact that the whole first game was basically butchered in the first part, not even in the first half. It's like the first quarter of the second game just butchered the whole first game, like it didn't even matter. Guess what? It's just the same like movies. If you're gonna build up a whole story like Wonder Woman 84, I expected so much, and I was just handed, like, it could be because of the lockdown and the whole difference of procedures, regulations they had to change up, medical procedures, and because of the COVID lockdowns, with masks, and it probably has something to do with it. But at the end of the day, you guys put that out and thought it was gonna work out. The person like Patty Jenkins let me down. She should have been fired as soon as that movie came out. But even though the movie was trash, she won't get touched because, she's a woman director doing a woman superhero, which the first movie was awesome. It was fabulous. It was absolutely beautiful storytelling. And that's where the problem comes with the part 2, that is like all that storytelling in part 1 and part 2, you just basically threw out what you put in part 1 to implement new rules to make it fit. Like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. It's a piece that doesn't go there, but you kind of just push it and then you hammer it down to, you think you're making it look better, but you're not. It's like, oh man, I'll just hammer it in there. People can't even tell the difference. No, it looks like shit. That's basically what I'm talking about. So I just find it odd, again, bringing up anime with against the comic, like the mangas comics in Japan and comics over here in America. The Japanese comics are winning, and that is troubling, at least for me. Not so much troubling because I grew up on the shit too, but characters like Batman, they need to be, he's basically the reason why I think the way I think. I don't think that people make the best decisions when they're emotional. I do think that there is some level of regulations that we can put to kind of keep us on track, but there is a such thing as too much. And Batman was one of those believers that, like, his character is basically, we need to have some kind of regulations to watch the superpowers and to keep them in check so that we may be able to enjoy our freedoms, and we should be able to make the decisions that we want for ourselves without having somebody stronger and bigger and tougher or invincible that we have to face because they think they're right and we should follow their rules. So it's like authoritarian kind of dilemma. It's the reason why Batman is best friends or cool with Superman, but yet he has a way to take him out if he ever needs to. Martian Manhunter, again, another character he's cool with, but he knows how to take him out. If you guys never seen the movie Justice League Doom, go watch that movie. It's the perfect movie for how everybody should be about the government. Think about all the superheroes being the government, and Batman is you, the only one without superpowers, but left to his own devices and his intelligence and the way that he has to maneuver. He keeps that kind of distance, like, yeah, we cool, we friends. You guys are here, you help when, if we ever face some kind of crisis. But don't let it go to your head that you're here to help, but you're not here to tell anybody what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So anyway, and Superman is now he's always been this light of hope. Blue Boy Scout, the man that doesn't lie, or at least says he doesn't lie, but keeping the truth from people about his identity. It's on a mission of truth, right? So it's not technically lying anyway, but it's a good role model. We have our kids watch the cartoons for a reason. It molds their way of thinking, and that is the perfect way to mold somebody, to think on somebody's decision making and characteristics rather than the way they look. Right? That's the way I was raised. That's the way we all were raised. And yet here we are in 2021, still worried about the color of somebody's skin. And which brings me up to AOC, right? Now, I am Puerto Rican by my background, right? I was born in America. I was born here in New Jersey. My family is from Puerto Rico. My mom, my dad were born over there. I am Puerto Rican by ethnicity, right? I lived over there a few years. I didn't really grow up over there though. I went back and forth as most New York Rican kids do, or American Puerto Rican kids usually do. But I didn't really grow up over there, like living over there as a teenager, getting used to, accustomed over there, or anything like that. Anyways, AOC, I think she's the governor or something like that, councilwoman in the Queens, New York, one part of New York, some New York district. I don't have her whole information up because this is something I was just listening to as I was getting ready to do this, so it's not in my notes. Maybe my next video I'll provide some clarification and details. But the way she goes on social media and she starts I don't know how to say it, like I gotta wait in Spanish to say it, but she uses emotions and she's making up stories, right? Like this latest thing, it's a month later and she's still talking about the Capitol rather than talking about the GameStop issue, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to have time to bring it up now. But that being said, instead of bringing up the issue about GameStop and how Wall Street decides to change the rules on the game that they play with against us, or in the stock market with our money, she wants to talk about the incident in the Capitol, right? In the Capitol building on January 6th, and how she felt scared. She has never felt that scared in her life, or I think that was her quote. I could be wrong, or I forgot. Anyways, her saying that she was scared is not the issue. Her saying that she was scared, that that she locked herself in the bathroom, that's not the issue. The issue is that it's been a month later and her story has changed 3 times. some verified evidence has come out about the fact of where she was, and the timestamp from the moment that the doors were essentially breached at the Capitol Hill building. She was already taken and evacuated, so to a certain extent. Also, from where she was to the Capitol Hill building that was actually being walked into, she was nowhere near that building. She was in her office, which is not in that building. But she has been framing it in such a way where it sounds, and she's using emotional kind of manipulating tactics like a little kid would, a little kid or yeah, a little child would use this hyperized kind of language and exaggeration, dramatic methods to tell a story to make you feel bad for them, right? Especially if they're trying to make something happen for them. So that's the issue I have. It's not what you said, it's how you're saying it, and basically the lies that are being, like, you're being fact checked, and yet it's okay for you to go on social media and make up stories and kind of just try to emotionally manipulate the people that follow you, that actually think you're a good leader, so to speak. You're just lying to them to get them enraged about something that's not true. And in the way that you're saying it, it's wrong. So, as a Puerto Rican to another Puerto Rican, because you like to say that. Let me tell you this. Deja la jodienda y no sea huele bicho. Because you have said a whole bunch of shit that is like, oh my god, esta tipa está en serio. Sometimes people make fun of you because you make some outlandish statements, and it's like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So that's not factually true. Well, factually true. That's not factual. Wow, it's like a double negative, double positive, or whatever the fuck. Anyway, I'm not an English teacher, so. But like, if there's some things that you say that be, like, okay, that kind of sounds right, or I'm not an economics major like you claim to be, but sometimes you come out and it's like, yo, how can you say something like that? Like, that's not even true. It's, I don't know. So, maybe you're just trying, maybe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is trying to make it the story about her, much like Donald Trump used to do it, right? But Donald Trump used to fight the media. You're basically using the media to emotionally manipulate your audiences, and basically to rally them to your side on emotion, so you can stay in office a little longer. Because you look like what these people are in Congress are just careerists. You're just there for the money. You're just there for companies to come in and lobby for you and get, what I'm saying? That's what you seem like to me. You don't seem like you are like for the people. And so much you talk about the people, that you're going to be there to work for the people. There's a lot of people in Congress that should not be in Congress. You're one of them. The same people you complain about, you're one of them. Especially when you're coming up with stories a month later, using facts that have come out from other stories that you've heard or seen on the internet, or stories that have been reported on, and you're using those to interject to your story now that you've changed 3 times. It's sad, and that is the problem with politics. Is it almost like you're better off? Oh, sorry, let me just move this. You're better off making it a game so that you can be the one to stay in it the longest. You know, you're playing this game that's, you don't care about the consequences as long as you get propped up, you get put in the right positions to make the money. Then be the society, the culture, having people riled up emotionally because your story, which is a lie, gets them riled up. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the whole narrative of the media. The media is good for one thing, and that's just to get eyeballs on the screen and get them mad and get them screaming about nothing on the internet. One thing you need to remember, one thing we all need to remember, and this is why I don't understand like how people let them get, like they let themselves get hijacked. As soon as Donald Trump got into office, it was like you could see the group effort. You know, they're all working together against this one guy. And yeah, he didn't talk pretty. Sometimes he used to go off the cuff a lot. Most of the time he went off the cuff, and he just did his thing like he's always done for years. But he never talked about the people voting for the other party. He never called them stupid. He never called them deplorable. He went after the people running. He went after the media reporting against him. Remember that time when he went to China, and the head guy in China, I'm not gonna be like with the right terms, so, but the guy that was feeding the koi fish, right? Or the fish. I don't even know if they were koi. I'm pretty sure. You know, it's China. Anyway, the guy that was feeding the fish, he was feeding the fish, and then Trump's feeding the fish. The guy dumps the whole thing into the pond, right? And then Trump follows suit and dumps the whole thing into the pond. Now, what's the problem with that story? I don't see any problem. No, the problem came when CNN and other media companies decided to show you the video as soon as the other guy dumped the whole food into the pond, the whole fish food. They started it when he's looking at Trump. Trump goes and dumps the whole food into the pond, and then the stories came out. Right, this is just one of many, but the stories came out like, oh my God, Trump is embarrassing. He just fed the whole thing to these fishes, and these are the consequences of overfeeding fish, and oh my God, and this and that. And it's like, what? Like, why would he do that? Like, oh, you know, maybe he just doesn't care. But then you see, oh, wait a minute, this video has been edited. Okay, oh, what happened before that? Oh, they were feeding them this, you know, one scoop at a time. The other guy, the guy that those are his fish, dropped the whole thing into the pond. Trump, following suit, did the same thing. Oh, that makes sense. He saw that guy do it. The guy said, probably go ahead. He did the same thing. But that was just a made up story to get people upset. This is why you should hate this guy. This is why you should not like him. He is an idiot. This is what he does to represent us. He's gonna kill the man's fish. Animal rights activist. He's gonna kill the fish by overfeeding them. This is the level of whatever, you know, like, he doesn't care about anything but himself. He's giving Americans a bad name. Blah blah blah. Come on, man. So that kind of hypocrisy, it's what lifted the veil for me. Like, it's like I am what's the name? is that name? Damn. Anyway, wow. I'm trying to reference a movie and it's not coming to me. But anyway, it lifted the veil. It showed us the puppeteer in the back, like pulling the strings and all that bullshit. It showed me that, like, oh, okay, everybody here is just full of shit. Nobody really believes on what they talk about. And it goes to that Tom McDonald, which I was gonna do a reaction video, but probably not today. My next video will be a reaction video to Tom McDonald, fake woke. It's almost like he even says it in an interview. It's like this this performance of that's being played out right now, or being played right now in all social networks, that you have to be about this wokeness or fake. You be about this fake wokeness because it's what's driving the views. It's what's giving driving the money behind it. You know, the corporations are behind this, obviously. You know, it's just, oh, this is how I feel. I'm a moral person because this is what I believe in, and I'm a better person than you because this is what I believe. If you don't believe it, I'm better than you, kind of deal that's going around. And that was it. That's what showed it to me. So damn, I'm still trying to think about the movie to reference. I just forgot what it is. The Wizard of Oz. Boom, there you go. When they're talking to the big head and it's like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden they see that behind the curtains is actually just a dude. That's what happened. And that's what I think Trump did. Trump was that kind of, like, the fact that he was hated by the establishment, the corporations, because they make money off of the bullshit that they spew, and he was just combating it with, like, you guys are fake. You guys don't even do proper reporting. This is what you're reporting on. This is what you got against me. It's not real. This is not me, or this is not the truth. You know, he lifted that veil because there was so much attacks, and it's like, okay, I get the whole why we need the press, but you know, you keep those in power, you question them, you keep them legit because you're challenging them. You know, always you kind of keep them on the right. That's what we supposed to have, the freedom of the press. You know, we're supposed to keep those in check, those people in power in check. And yet it was almost like a concerted effort to just bash on the guy for no reason, most of the time for no reason. And it's like, okay, I get he doesn't talk pretty, but talking pretty is not illegal, or it's not what's the famous thing now is calling people white supremacists, right? Because racist now, it's like they've used it so much that it's been diluted, and it's sad because there's people out there that really are racist, that when you say, hey, that's a racist, it should mean something. Now it's like somebody could come up to me and say, well, that guy's racist. It's like, I'm already thinking, like, why? Because he thinks differently than you, or he doesn't believe in what you believe in, or like he was very respectful and he said, nah, you know, I just don't believe that, and you take it as he is a white supremacist. You know, he's a racist. So that's what my thoughts are so far. And I have more, but I think I'm gonna cut it there because it's been a while and it's too long. And yeah, so I feel like I've ranted enough. But again, I'm trying to decorate my wall, my spot, my corner, whatever you want to call it. Again, I know I've said support small businesses, and you know, Amazon, Walmart, like, you can do without those, but I know sometimes it's hard times. It's tough to get things. especially if you order from somewhere. You know, it might take long. I get it. That could have been the whole plan from the beginning. Ooh, but I'm not even gonna go there. It's conspiracy theories, you know. But yeah, that's what I just ask everybody to just really look at the bigger picture. You know, step back for a minute and be respectful to people, you know, but don't let that respect make you naive. You know, don't let that respect be the one thing that you respect someone so much that even when they say a bold-faced lie, or they say something that's not factual, don't feel the need that you can't, like, don't hold back to the point that you can call them out on it. Or if you don't want to call them out on it, just, all right, yeah, I don't know, I don't agree, but that's okay, and that's it. You don't even have to tell them. If they don't ask for, oh, why don't you believe, or why don't you agree with me, if you just say, oh, I just disagree, but you know, we'll leave it at that, it's all good, and they don't ask you why, just keep it moving. Don't feel like you need to win every discussion. You know, it's not, ideas are not meant to roast. It's not like a roast, you know. It's not a roast battle. You don't sit there and be like, oh, my idea is better than yours because this and that and this and that and this is why, and you know, no, like, this is why I think it is. You don't agree, okay, fine. I'm not gonna sit here and try to bash you over the head with my idea, or say that your idea is trash. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. That's not what I want to do. I want to give you my idea, or my thoughts on why I think this idea is better than your idea, and this is why I think yours is not gonna work. Okay, you don't feel it? Okay, fine. That's it. Boom. Done. Simple. But then again, what do you do when the other side doesn't stop doing that? You know, what do you do then? I've grown to be a big proponent of walking away, right? You know, and when you're in school, it's like turn the other cheek, and it's like, it's kind of hard. Somebody slaps you, you know, it's like, don't do, you disrespect me, we're gonna have problems. But that's when you're young. As you get older, you start to see things in the world, and it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth that, having that argument with somebody that you don't really know? Or, you know, most of the time I based these conversations, or these rants that I go off of, I base them on talking with people that you know, I base them on having conversations with my boys, or my friends that I know, that I can kind of trust, that they're not just gonna go all crazy on me, like this recent this past week, the video that surfaced about neighbor killing two of his neighbors. I believe it was like a husband and a wife, or a man and his girlfriend. Like, I don't know if they were married or not. I didn't look too much into it. I heard it was from PA. It was like January 2nd, but the video just started surfacing now. It was like a security cameras in their home. So basically, if you haven't seen it, you can go look for it, but I have to highly recommend that you prepare yourself, and only watch it if you have a strong stomach, or if you don't like watching things like that, then don't watch it. But basically, a guy has an argument with another dude. They're walking back from what seems to be shoveling. Like, they look like they were together, and they had an argument or a disagreement on the way back. They live right in front of each other, so they're neighbors from across the street. The guy starts calling him disparaging names, and he turns back like, oh no, you this and you that. And so the other guy feels confident that, I can take you down, so you need to stop being this and that. So, he insults him. He continues to insult him, even as the guy walks away, goes into his garage. He opens it up. Like, you could hear it. You don't see it, you hear the garage. He opens it up and he starts walking back towards him again. And you hear the guy saying to him, "Put the gun away. Put the gun away. Let's handle this the right way. Put the gun away." The other guy, from what it seemed, that he's just snapped. The guy called him too many insults in a row, and he snapped. I mean, we just got out of 2020, which was a rough emotional year for many. It was rough on everybody's emotional being. And it's just a good example as to, you don't know what the other person that you're arguing with, something nonsensical, not something that's stupid, probably. At the end of the day, they probably were arguing about you're throwing snow in the wrong direction. You know, you're supposed to be shoveling and you're throwing it in the direction where I need to shovel anyway. So, you know, you're making me work twice as hard. I get why you can be upset at that, but at the same time, it's snow, my man. Like, it's an argument as to which direction you're throwing it, which is whether it be right or wrong, or if it makes sense, or it doesn't matter. It was snow, like it's snowing. It seemed to be like a blizzard as well, like we just got hit, and yet he took their lives. He took the life of he shot both of them, because obviously the guy's arguing. His girl or his wife, they decided to step in and defend him and, you know, have his back like a true ride or die. And she actually took it. She got hit, and he targeted her, and as he targets her, he goes to the guy. For what it seems like, he ran out of bullets. He goes back to his house. And this is where, like, even if there was an argument to be made that he was defending himself, because the guy did seem like he was approaching him, even though he wasn't in no kind of danger. If you wanted to say that, I'm not saying that there is an argument, because in my mind, in my opinion, there was no argument for him to pull out the gun in the first place. He was not in any danger, in any real danger that I could see. The guy was not running at him. He was not throwing things at him. He was not doing anything. He was standing in the middle of the road. He was waving his hands like, you want to do something, come do it. But he was not approaching the guy. But where it's like a definite case shut deal is he goes back into his garage. He comes back with what seems to be a rifle or some kind of short barrel rifle or shotgun, whatever. I don't want to say bullpup because, you know, but it seems like that. And he comes back and he goes to the female who he shot. Like, he shot both of them. He got close to her, shot her or tried to shoot her in the face twice. And he goes to her while she's laying on the ground. Obviously, she's shot. You could hear her, you know, her groans. She's trying to yell for her husband or her man's name. And he goes up to her and he's like, "You should have kept your fucking mouth shut." He takes a shot, 2 shots at her in the face. And then he goes and walks over to the other guy that's underneath the camera, and he says, because the guy called him a pussy, and he's like, "Oh, pussy, huh?" And he boom boom. Damn. Now, like I said, you may feel that certain arguments are worth fighting for, but I'm here to tell you that it's better to just agree to disagree, especially if you don't know the other person's emotional state. You don't know their stability mentally, especially with the year we've had. You never know. You know, even with people you do know, it's not worth fighting or ending or feeling like your relationship is kind of fractured, especially if you've been friends a long time. You know, and I know I said a couple things in my last video again about my friend and my beef with him, or our little discussion, but I don't see it as a deal breaker, like a friendship breaker. to just because we disagree on things. We always disagree on things. But because since this is so hyper focused in politics, with politics and in the media and everything now with social media is flooded with the politics culture. I still don't see why it should be a deal breaker, like a friendship breaker at all. So agree to disagree with people. Some battles like that are not worth dying for. Unless you're being attacked, and then it's like, then if you're in imminent danger, then certain things are worth fighting for. But an argument or a discussion, when it's like those people in Congress or in the Senate, like most of them don't really give a shit. Like if the Republicans wanted to, in the times that they've had the House and the Senate, they could have passed so many gun laws or so many restrictions on trying to ban our Second Amendment, from, like, it says it on the Constitution, will not be infringed. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. Like right there, that should be enough. But the fact that we got so many rules on top of this, saying that we can't do this, we can't do that, we gotta have this amount of bullets in our guns, or only this gun can be sold here, this gun can be. That's already you're already breaking the Constitution. And they could have done away with all that, and the fact that they didn't, it keeps the money coming their way, because then you got groups like NRA that go in there and they feel like they need to grease some politicians' hands. I'm not saying that they do, but they do lobby in Congress and the Senate to try to, they send donations to try to persuade people that Second Amendment is good and why it should be around. And that's the tactic. They keep it in the political battle because they benefit off of it. Just like the other side will keep certain things in the political battle because they benefit off of it. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, racism ends with us, or our generation, or ended with the older generation. Like it's gonna be gone with the older generation. But every generation, politics, if the Democrats keep playing that race card, then it'll feel like, oh, racism ends with this generation, or racism ends with this, and then the next generation, racism doesn't pass this generation. It doesn't make it to the next generation. It's like, how many times we're gonna keep saying that? Because they'll always use it when it's beneficial to them. This is why I say we're stronger together, and they just want to divide us, because divided we shall fall. And on that note, on that cliche of an ending, have a good night, have a good day, have a good morning, whenever you're watching this, at whatever time, whatever day. God bless, and thanks for sticking around for this hour and some change. Peace out.